The betrayal unveiled night before the wedding. The city glowed under a sky heavy with unspoken secrets. Sophia stood in the penthouse bathroom, tracing her reflection in the mirror. Her dark curls were pinned back, lips stained a deep red war. Paint for the battle she didn't yet know she'd fight. Outside, laughter floated up from the Grand Royal Hotel where Oliver's bachelor party roared on. She hadn't meant to go, but the cufflinks his grandfather's, a family heirloom Eleanor begged her to deliver, sat heavy in her pocket. The hotel staff nodded as she passed. "Private lounge, Miss Grant?" The concierge smiled. She didn't correct him. The elevator. Doors slid shut, sealing her in silence. Then she heard it. Oliver's laugh, sharp as broken glass. "Settling down with Sophia?" James' voice slurred with whiskey. "Why not?" Oliver's reply was lazy, cruel. "Her trust funds the missing piece for the merger. And the best part? She's clueless." The velvet box in her hand grew damp with sweat. "So, it's just business," James snorted. "She's temporary." Oliver's words slithered under the door. "Once the money's mine, I'll upgrade." The walls breathed in, held it, then collapsed. Back home, Sophia didn't cry. She opened her laptop, fingers flying over keys. As Oliver's business partner, she had access to everything: emails, offshore accounts, the falsified reports for Maxwell Enterprises. By dawn, she'd found the rest. Rebecca, Oliver's board meetings in Malibu, the transfers to an account under her name. The emails. Once we're married, her assets unlock, and we're free. Her phone buzzed. "Eleanor, darling, the florist needs your final approval." Sophia smiled. Wedding morning. The bridal suite hummed with champagne flutes and curling irons. Eleanor fastened pearls around Sophia's neck. "Something old," she whispered. The stones felt like teeth against Sophia's skin. "You're shaking," Claire said, handing her a glass. "Just nerves." Sophia set it down untouched. Her phone lit up. "At!" A text from an unknown number, reporter confirmed. Agents en route outside. The church bells rang. The aisles stretched endlessly. Oliver stood at the altar grinning. His tuxedo was perfect, his lies more so. Sophia stopped 3 steps short. "Before we begin," she said, turning to the crowd a reading. The envelope slithered open. Gasps rippled as she held up the first document. "My dearest Rebecca," she read, voice clear as ice. "Once the merger's done, we'll dump Sophia. She'll never see it coming." Oliver lunged. The papers scattered like wounded birds. The church doors burst open. 2 agents moved toward the altar. "You?" Oliver's mask cracked. "Ruined you?" Sophia leaned in, lips brushing his ear. "No, you did that all by yourself." As handcuffs clicked, she walked back down the aisle, dash alone. Outside, cameras flashed. The truth, finally, was hers. The church doors swung shut behind her, but the chaos followed. Cameras flashed like lightning, reporters shouting over each other. "Miss Grant, did you know about the fraud? Is Rebecca Thorne part of the scheme?" But Sophia walked past them. All the train of her dress slicing through puddles left by last night's rain. Inside, the uproar still echoed. Eleanor's shattered voice. "Oliver, explain this." Claire's sobs, the agents reading Oliver his rights in monotone. James had tried to slip out a side door, but Lena Marotha, reporter Sophia had tipped off, was already shoving a microphone in his face. "Did you help cover up the embezzlement?" She didn't look back. The penthouse was too quiet. She peeled off her wedding dress like shedding skin, letting it pool on the floor like a ghost. The shower scalded her, but she didn't cry, not when her phone buzzed with Eleanor's desperate calls. Not when Claire's texts piled up. "Please, talk to me." "I didn't know." Only when she found the note. Tucked under Oliver's watch stand a scrap of hotel stationery. "Sophia, meet me at the docks. Midnight, bring the files or I'll ruin you first." No signature. But she knew his handwriting. Midnight, the docks were slick with salt and fog. She came alone, the files tucked in a waterproof envelope. "Have humiliated me." Oliver stepped from the shadows. No tux now, just a hoodie, his face bruised from the agent's grip. You humiliated yourself, she said. Why'd you call me here? He moved closer, to make you an offer. His breath smelled like whiskey, same as last night. You tell the press you overreacted. Say the documents were fake. In return, I'll transfer half the offshore funds to you. A bribe. Typical, she laughed. You think I want your blood money? I think, he said, fingers brushing her wrist. You'd rather be rich and quiet than right and ruined. Her knee met his groin before he could blink. As he crumpled, she dropped the envelope at his feet. That's a copy. The originals are already with the feds. She leaned down, whispering, Enjoy prison, Oliver. The next morning, the headlines screamed, Maxwell Heir, arrested in dawn raid. Lena's exclusive featured screenshots of Oliver's emails to Rebecca. The offshore transfers, even the dock confrontation, caught on the recorder in Sophia's. Pocket. Eleanor showed up at her door, eyes red-rimmed, but chin high. I brought you these. She held out a box of the pearls from yesterday. They're yours. As mine. Sophia hugged her, the pearls digging into her palm like a promise. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Miss Grant. A man's voice, calm and crisp. Mark Harrison. I teach business ethics at Kingsley University. I'd like to discuss how you took down a corporate fraud in 12 hours. A thread of warmth unspooled in her chest. Tell me when, she said. The coffee shop smelled of burnt beans and ambition. Sophia stirred her espresso 3 times. Counterclockwise Anne, old habit while Mark Harrison unfolded a newspaper between them. Maxwell Enterprises files for bankruptcy, screamed the headline. With Oliver's mugshot glaring beneath it, you realize, Mark said, tapping the photo, you didn't just expose a fraud. You lit a fuse under the entire corporate world. His thumb brushed hers as he passed the sugar. A spark, deliberate. She pretended not to notice. They should have burned sooner. Across the street, a billboard flickered. Rebecca's face, pixelated and grim, under the words, Thornesgate Scandal. Board member arrested. Sophia's doing. Eleanor's townhouse was a mausoleum of good taste. Crystal decanters gathered dust. Claire paced by the fireplace, her usual grace, replaced by jagged movements. He wants to see you, she blurted. Oliver. He's in holding at Blackstone Penitentiary. Sophia's teacup clattered against saucer. Why, he says he'll sign over his shares to the Employees' Trust Fund. But only if you come. The catch? It would force her to face him, to let him see the damage. Mark's voice echoed in her head. Power isn't in avoiding the fight. It's in choosing the battlefield. Set it up, she said. Blackstone smelled like bleach and regret. Oliver sat behind glass, his orange jumpsuit hanging loose. The cocky tilt to his chin remained, but his eyes bloodshot. Miss me, he smirked. She placed her palm flat on the divider. No wedding ring, just the faint scar from where she'd ripped. Off his engagement band. The shares, signed them. What's the magic word? Please, she said sweetly, don't make me release the photos of you and James at the Cayman Islands safe house. His smirk died. 10 minutes later, the papers were signed. Night Mark took her to a dimly lit jazz bar. Saxophone notes curled around them like smoke. You're staring, she said, swirling her bourbon. Admiring, he corrected. Today proves something. That I'm ruthless. That you're kind, he leaned in. Those shares will save pensions for 200 employees? You could have crushed him further? You chose mercy. His knee pressed against hers under the table. This time, she didn't pull away. Cliffhanger. As they left the bar, a black car rolled up, window down. Rebecca's brother hissed, You ruined my sister. Watch your back, Grant. Mark's arm slid around her waist, protective, possessive. Sucked. Sophia smiled. Let them come. The black car peeled away, tires screaming against wet pavement. Mark's grip on Sophia's waist tightened, his body shielding hers instinctively. The jazz bar's neon sign flickered above them, casting his sharp features in crimson light. You. Okay? He murmured, breath warm against her temple. She stepped back, smoothing her blouse. Threats are Oliver's style. Cheap ones at that. But her pulse hammered not from fear, from anticipation. Mark's phone buzzed. A text from Eleanor. They're moving Oliver to a minimum security facility tomorrow. Some deal his lawyers made. Sophia single quotes est, nails bit into her palms. Of course, the Maxwell name still carried weight the next morning. She stood outside the stark offices of Harrison and Wright, Mark's ethics consultancy. Inside, a team debated her case on a projector screen. Grant v. Maxwell, blueprint for corporate whistleblowing. Famous, Mark said, handing her coffee. His fingers lingered. Infamous, actually. Wall Street's calling you the Black Widow bride. She snorted. Original. They're scared. He leaned against his desk, tie loosened. You proved one person with the truth can topple empires. That's revolutionary. The way he looked at her like she was a storm worth chasing made her throat tighten. Claire arrived unannounced at Sophia's loft that evening, clutching a manila envelope. Oliver's secret ledger, she said, thrusting it forward. I found it hidden in Mother's wine cellar. He's been bribing parole board members. The pages smelled of old money and desperation. Dates, amounts, initials. Sophia exhaled. Why bring this to me? 'Cause you're the only one he fears. Claire's voice cracked, and I need him to stay gone. For the first time, Sophia hugged her. Claire trembled like a bird in a thunderstorm. The confrontation happened at midnight again this time, outside Blackstone's gates. Oliver, shackled and sullen between guards, froze when he saw Sophia waiting by a sleek town car. Here to gloat, she spat. She held up the ledger. His face drained of color. Sign over your remaining assets to the employees' fund, she said, or this goes to the warden. Parole denied. His laugh was hollow. You've changed? No, she smiled. You just never really looked. As the guards hauled him away, Mark emerged. From the car all set. She slid into the passenger seat, the ledger heavy in her lap. Drive. Twist. Back at her apartment, a single red rose lay on her pillow. No note. Just the faint scent of Rebecca's signature jasmine perfume. Mark's jaw clenched. This ends now. Sophia plucked the rose, thorns drawing blood. No, she whispered. It's just beginning. The rose's thorn had drawn a perfect bead of blood on Sophia's thumb. She pressed it to her tongue. Iron and salt has Mark called his contacts at the parole board. Rebecca was released this morning, he said, phone clenched too tight. Brother posted bail. Outside a storm gathered. Thunder rolled like a warning. Eleanor's townhouse 3am. Claire met them at the door, eyes wild. She took Mother. The note on the foyer table was written in familiar looping script Rebecca's. You took everything from me. Now I take your heart. Come alone to the Grand Royal, Suite 1217. The same hotel where it all began. Mark grabbed Sophia's arm. It's a trap. She slid a knife into her boot. I'm counting on it. Suite 1217, the room smelled of jasmine and gun oil. Eleanor sat bound to a chair, lips bruised but chin high. Rebecca leaned against the minibar, a pistol dangling from her fingers. Right on time, she purred. Where's Oliver's ledger? Sophia tossed it onto the bed. Let her go. Rebecca laughed. You don't make demands here. Then movement. Eleanor kicked over the chair, crashing into Rebecca's legs. The gun skidded across the carpet as Mark burst through the door. Cops behind him. Aftermath and X clicked. Rebecca screamed curses, her brother lunging at the officers. Dull. Eleanor clung to Claire, whispering you were brave, so brave as medics. Checked her vials. Mark pressed Sophia against the hallway wall, his hands framing her face. If you ever, his voice broke. Christ, Sophia. She kissed him, not gentle, desperate. His mouth tasted of fear and peppermint gum epilogue. 1 year later, Maxwell Ethics Foundation Gala glittered under crystal chandeliers. Sophia in emerald. Green watched Mark charm donors by the champagne tower. Claire, now CEO of the rebuilt Maxwell Holdings, winked at her from across the room. A guard approached. Letter for you, Ms. Grant. Oliver's prison issue paper was rough under her fingers. Heard. About the foundation. Never thought my name would stand for second chances. Maybe that's your real revenge." Oh, she burned it in a candle flame. Mark appeared at her side, slipping an arm around her waist, ready to go home. Home. The word settled warm in her ribs. "Yes," she said, and let him lead her into the light.